I believe some of you know already about the Turku PET Centre. So we are mostly focused on in vivo diagnosis with the aid of radiopharmaceuticals. So Turku PET Centre is a joint institute supported by University of Turku, Akademi, and the Turku University Hospital. We are focused on position emission tomography, which is a technology for medical diagnosis. With that, we work a lot with radioactivity and instrumentation. So the missions for Turku PET Centre are to provide diagnostic services for the whole country. So we because of the radiation work and also the instrumentation things, usually they can send the patient to us. So that would be easier. They send the patient to us, then we send the radiopharmaceuticals to their hospitals, because there's a special requirements for the use of radiopharmaceuticals. And perform top level scientific research. We are non-profit organization, so research is still a major focus in our work. And we indeed provide a lot of clinical and preclinical research services. And I would say that during last 20 years, the contract-based research services are quite active in our center. We participate in the universities in the education programs at different levels, starting from bachelor degree to doctoral degree, and also specializations in medicine and so on. If I try to name a few keywords about PET technology, so I would name at least 4. So radiochemistry, of course, we need that. Without that, we cannot do anything with PET imaging. And instrumentation, that is also very much needed. We need the state-of-the-art of the machines to make the detections. Medicine, biomedicine, and data science. Some features of PET technology, which make PET a bit different from other technologies. High sensitivity, so we can manage with diagnosis if the compound is somewhere at femtomolar to picomolar concentration in the body. So it's quite sensitive. Therefore, it's that is one reason it's non-invasive. So this is one kind of non-invasive in vivo diagnosis. And it's microdose. So regarding the mass amount, it's tiny amount. So it's microdose concept. Of course, we have other type of measurements for the dose. For example, radioactivity dose, that is high. However, regarding the molarity, the dose is really tiny. And the radiopharmaceuticals are not expected to induce any pharmacological effects or reactions in the patients. So that is one reason why we can use even toxic compounds for imaging purposes. And there is total body imaging, so there's no limitation for the penetration in the body. So we can image from toes to the head, and also there's no limitation for the deep tissues visualization. We image the disease, where are the diseased tissues, cells, and so on. And also we apply the principles, imaging principles to study the disease mechanisms. That is also one part of our work. We keep on developing new radiopharmaceuticals. So the reason is that we need many types of radiopharmaceuticals to see different type of biology. For example, for gliomas, we have amino acids system to see the amino acid transportation and utilization. We have some other ligand to see different mechanisms. Because for example, gliomas, they have different type of biomarker profiles in the lesion with the progression of the disease. So we really need lots of and different types of molecules for the same disease. We try to do this also try to make more molecules also for the reason to image with high precision and personalized medicine. During the last 40 years in PET Centre, many types of ligands molecules have been radiolabeled. Small organic compounds, peptides, oligonucleotides, antibodies, and proteins, oligosaccharides, many types of compounds are possible to be labeled for imaging purposes. We have the expertise to design the radiolabeling because how we label the label on these ligands, it matters. It has influence on the pharmacokinetics and also the imaging performance. So the idea is that we try to label the molecules depending on which organs, which tissues, which targets they are intended for use. We try to aim for that kind of performance in the imaging that the ligand can find their targets in the body at the right time, at the right time in the right place. So in this example is the brain metastasis. So as you can see, the lesions have been really nicely visualized with high specificity. And we have the know-how how to produce the radionuclides. It's not that simple system. And also we have know-how how to produce these radioactive drugs in GMP grade for human use. In the Duke's building number 14 in the basement, we have a small drug factory, which is a full GMP level productions. Each year, we produce more than 1,000 batches of radiopharmaceuticals. One batch can be used for a few patients of scans, and at least for some of the radiopharmaceuticals, it's possible to use even more than 10 scans. So at the moment, we have more than 40 GMP products and more than 50 non-GMP products. Non-GMP products are used for preclinical imaging for this development, also for mechanism studies. Our lab is one of the biggest radiopharmaceutical chemistry lab in Europe. At the moment, in the radiochemistry part, we have 45 people working in the same facilities. And we have 2 labs at the moment. So the old lab is in Duke's building number 14. Now we got a brand new radiochemistry lab in our building. Examples of radiopharmaceuticals. So FDG is a glucose analog. This is the oldest radiopharmaceutical that we have. So Turku PET Centre have been producing these radiopharmaceuticals for more than 40 years. And still it is in very intensive use. That is because this is a glucose analog, and many kind of diseases and indications can be imaged with this FDG based on energy consumption. And Siglec-9 is a relatively young radiopharmaceutics. We got it to the clinic in 2018. That is a peptide-based ligand for imaging inflammation. And we have PSMA which is a very good ligand for imaging of prostate cancer. We have PK1119295. That is a ligand for imaging neurological diseases, including multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's. For diagnosis of diseases, that is one thing. The other thing is that we try to use the radioligand to image the treatment response. As you can see in this example, this is before treatment, this is after treatment. Those drugs are non-radioactive drugs. So in addition to diagnosis, we use PET to advance the new drug development. And to develop new drugs, I collaborate with many experts in preclinical and clinical research. For example, Anne Roivainen, Andy Juhani, and Silva. Translational studies are a very big part in our work. This is one example, a successful story. So this ligand, Cyclic-9, has been developed in Turku. So this is the reason why I take this as an example. And we have very good ligand in the pipeline, for example, folate imaging for inflammation, autoimmune diseases. And also in the last example, I just to show that not only we are working with radiopharmaceuticals, but also we radiolabel some other materials for drug delivery. For example, Jana has told already about this vesicles. So now we're starting a new project with Finnish Red Cross to develop vesicles as drug delivery system. The rationale behind that is that vesicles can deliver many kind of stuff or molecules, genes, and so on, from cells to cells, from tissues to tissues. So the idea here is to develop such kind of vesicles which can bring the intended drugs, these antibodies and so on, to the intended targets. And then instrumentation, of course, is a very important part. So recently we have set up total body PET scanner in our PET center. So it's really so that it's a revolutionary step towards next era of PET. With traditional PET scanners, we can only scan 25 centimeters at a time. We have to move the bed in order to scan the whole body. But now we can scan everything, what is happening in the body at a time. And this kind of functional imaging can benefit not only for disease diagnosis, but also for drug development. Okay, thank you very much.